So if people have dysregulated issues, especially here with the amygdala, the stress markers. Here's the white matter tract that involved in with the amygdala, the orbital frontal, and the temporal pole. Other ones are involved too. This is language. I mean, we have all kinds of these white matter tracts in here, and that we're improving, increasing the white matter when we train between them. The default network was discovered by just looking at all this fMRI data and find out what things are coordinated with each other. And what we really found out is the PCC is this major hub of coordination. And it connects up, I like to say this is the mom, this is the dad. The nurturing, self-nurturing, or connects strongly with the protective, safety, social fairness hub. And the other ones are sort of secondary in terms of coordination. But those are the two major ones. And that's why we start with the mom part of the head, the PCC. And in our area, these are the areas, the PCC is inside of this. It's in the medial area. It's back here, and the precuneus is right above it. Okay, and you see, this is a slide I showed in the previous PowerPoint. In PTSD, what you have is this coordination between the PCC and the hubs in the front and what I call the wings. And with the PTSD, you have a loss of that coordination. It's like you bunker down. No longer showing the coordination with the front anterior hub and the wings. And we can see this bunkering down or problems with the PCCs messed up. Here's some examples of PTSD, abandonment, depression coming in. Okay, here is now Vanessa's over here. She's got the PTSD marker. That's probably causing a lot of the issues. People come in and they say, depression and anxiety are highly mixed. I mean, some people are just, maybe there are a few people who are just anxious and a few people who are just depressed. More so even on the depressed side in terms of how many. Most of it's kind of a mix. You get depressed and because you're anxious in social situations and you isolate because of that, and that gets you more depressed. So it's like this vicious cycle that leads to, they do interact a lot. This is the anxious kid, PTSD marker for this 8-year-old going on there. I got some other issues going on. Blue can be a strain sometimes, so we always want to figure it out. It's also easier to normalize blue areas than it is the orange ones. All right, we also have a marker for social anxiety. That's a horrible picture, scary picture. Area 19, it deals with visual complexity, and it's fMRI data, and it has found, as we have, that it can be it's the beginning of OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, and also social anxiety. Okay, here's a person who had, this is a very anxious person who had these huge harmonics, horrendous, competing, and it's right there in that visual complexity, literally putting too much meaning into others. So you're walking into a Starbucks and you see a bunch of people, and all of a sudden you freeze because you don't know what to do next. Because you look to them, what should I do? Like, no, you just got to do your path. You can't let other people can't really help you navigate the world directly. Okay, so that's in the back of the head. Now we look in the middle of the head, these areas here, and we see panic attack and anxiety. We worry about the boundary areas. That's the social boundaries. A lot of times, it can be invasive, but it can also be shyness. It means that the boundary is not, the green is the balance point. And this is your personal boundaries, how recruitable you are. And so this kid's probably got shyness. So I'm like, he may even have be invasive with his mom and dad, left side, just your friends and family, rights, new people, and shy with new people. Just regardless of how it manifests, we know this problem and we don't normalize it. Here's someone who has panic attacks and, has some issues. Probably knew this is a shyness thing, and this is a recruitability, not good personal boundaries. And we see the area 5 has white matter tracts in the projection system go way down to like the ARAS, what's called the activating reticular extending reticular activating system, called other things too. It's where the thing that wakes us up, arouses us, wakes up in the morning, this system of a basic arousal in our upper brainstem, and that is literally connected to this area. So in a way, when we're training area 5, we're training the lowest part we can influence in the brain. And area 5 is harder to fix. Area 7 has the same kind of strain, partially has white matter tracts that are strong, but 5 has the most going down to that area. How much we are aroused by our environment, activated by our environment. Okay, another area is frontal lobe, area of the temporal pole, sort of a sheaves nearby near the amygdala. It's got this white matter track I showed earlier that's shared with the orbital frontal that helps govern the amygdala. Some fMRI measure here. Areas where 38 shows up in guilt. We also see 47 involved in guilt. Oh, there it is, 47. Oh, yeah, 47 L's involved in guilt as well. That's like when the amygdala is a fight and flight center. It's a short circuit device is there any threat in the environment. There's also emotional processing, other things. A lot of the amygdala does a lot of things, and the more they study it, the more it seems to be doing. 32R has to do with intention, typically. What's the other person? What's going on in another person's mind? So in temporal pole, we're going to see this is temporal pole here in this general outline, and then when we get to the Brahmin, the executive areas, it's this area here. And there's the anxious kid again, Stanley, and here's that anxious girl. I think it's okay. He's got some guilt things. This is also social, deals with social norms. Also, that's rage on the other side. Typically, let's say the rage amygdala is here and the fear amygdala is here. You collapse or you attack, flee, fight or flee, fight or flight in those areas. So if it's yellow, it's going to overreact to the environment because it's the primitive system's dominating. It's transparent. The neocortex hasn't integrated enough. Here is another person. What is the person's name on this one? I think this is Vanessa, having the anxiety marker. We call that an anxiety for a marker of generalized anxiety, and this one is that's the hub of feeling protected. Also, motivations done there, and here's some fMRI data supporting how the left amygdala is involved, how it's coordinated with anxiety. This is the right amygdala. Sometimes you get right and left. Again, you do have contralateral. You have these partnerships between the left and right hemisphere. Okay. All right. So we address the BA functions, what goes on in the various area, find out what's mature, try to mature it up using the default network training. And we have these protocols, and from them, we can go take someone within 20 hours, 40 hours, depends on how severe, and normalize them and gets rid of the behaviors that's causing them the problems. So that's our anxiety session.